Alright, so this is part 5 of the tutorial. The 100% tutorial by Shiny Zeni. You can just call me Zeni, of course. So we did Upper Norfair last time. Is this part 5 or this is part 4? It's part 4. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm tired. We did Upper Norfair last time. So yeah, we'll go. So you get to the top of the elevator, and as you're coming up, you want to hold, at least the way that I do this, I hold shoot and dash and left, and then I stop right on this line right here, and I do a stutter right there. Okay. Like this. So that sets Samus up for the short charge here. There are a number of different ways to do this. This is just how I do it, so it's consistent. In this room, you want to let go of your shot and dash, and then I repress dash as Samus is passing this little weed bush thing here. Shoot again, hold it through the tube, release it after the tube, and push down. You can hear that Samus had her echoes already, so that's why I like this setup, because if you do it right, there's never a question of, you know, whether you're going to have enough speed to just charge your Shine Spark like right immediately as you enter this room. So, we're doing the Alpha Spark, by the way. So release, shoot, down, and then run through. You're also going to want to repress shoot here so that when you come out of this door, it automatically shoots that cack the first time. Then what you want to do is jump across, do an angle down shot to kill the cack, and then preferably before you land you want to shoot again. You want to land right around where the cack was. Assuming that you do, the screen will be scrolled far enough that your shot can open the door. Like this. So jump, shoot again, that'll kill the cack. Shoot one more time before you land. Take a step forward if you need to stand where the cack was. See that? Alright, now you have two options on how to do this spark. What I used to do is I do a little jump and then spark, like this. There's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but I kept doing that. Kept bonking the ceiling. So eventually, I was like, heck this, I'm killing paces over something really stupid. So instead of doing the jump spark now, what I'll do is I'll crouch and then spark. The reason the crouch is important is that when you execute a Shine Spark from a crouch state, Samus's her starting position is higher. So, I'm trying to think if there's like a good way to show this. You probably can't see it very well, but like, basically it's just like a crouch jump where we end up 8 pixels higher if we start the crouch, or if we start the spark out of a crouch. So by doing that, we're making it so that we crash higher on this door in this room, which actually makes it possible to do a down grab onto the ledge. The reason the jump spark is nice, if I can do it. See, this is why I dropped it, because like, it's just so unreliable for me. The reason it's nice is you can just hold shoot and forward and you'll end up on the ledge. But if you bonk the ceiling, that's no good. So I've moved to a crouch spark. You hold shoot and down, and then you press forward just before Samus passes. Oops. just before Samus passes the little lip down there. And if you do it right, then you can grab this little ledge right here, below the door. It is possible to bonk this door if you're too aggressive, like that. It's pretty unlikely that it will happen if you jump off the corner and shoot before you land. But, see, like, it's kind of hard. It's hard to optimize the frames in this room because if you go too fast, you're gonna crash. But there's certain situations where if you had gone just as fast, but like shot earlier, it would have worked. I think my best room time is like a 127 or something stupid like that in here. But really, any 1-3x, like especially a low 1-3x, is definitely good enough for this room. Okay. All right. So we come in here, hold shoot and down, and then press left just as Samus is about to pass the ledge. You can use the door as a cue. I do that sometimes where you can see, when the door is about to disappear, and you can use that to be like, okay, hold left, now, right? So yeah, assuming you land on the ledge, you want to jump through the door immediately. And we'll talk about Red Tower. So Red Tower is interesting. Luckily we have Ice Beam, which makes it pretty trivial. You just want to do some wall jumps up the right side, freeze this guy in the middle. Aim up, shoot as you're jumping. That will break these two blocks. If you want to optimize, you can do a down grab here. And this is actually a room where it's pretty important to hold dash for all of your jumps because you're going to get speedy jumps that way. So basically, you just want to jump up and do ledge grabs the whole way. Like, I wish that I had, like, secrets to talk about for this part of the room, but I really don't. It's just one of those things where this room is really good for practicing ledge grabs, platforming in general. It's probably the first room when I was first streaming this game that, like, I remember I did it in a run and people were like, dude, that was so clean, good job, and like I actually felt like I had done it well. Anyway, I can't like grind this room unfortunately, or my hand is gonna cramp up, but there's a couple things that I can say. So Behemoth opts to do, instead of 2 ledge grabs here, he does a ledge grab here, and then he runs about 2 tiles, he said. And that allows him to do 1 jump up here. In my timing, it was about the same. But you do have to down grab to make it work. And if you run too far, then that happens, where you just don't get enough height. So you gotta be kind of careful. At the top, there's 2 different things you can do. My recommendation is just do whichever one feels easier and more natural to you, but I'll talk about kind of the pros and cons of both. One of them is definitively faster. Okay. So you get here, you can either come up here and then go up the left side, freeze this third guy up, okay? Land on the third guy, jump, basically do down grab here, open the door and run through, right? So like this. This strat is really good because it gives you a perfect door every time, assuming you did it right. That was a 43 instead of a 42, but like, you get what I'm saying. I personally am better at right side wall jumps than I am at left side wall jumps, which is kind of why I resisted doing this strat for a while. The other thing is, depending on how you do this, can make freezing this guy and landing on him kind of awkward. So you can technically get more of a running start here and get up in one wall jump. I think I saw Behemoth doing that. I don't know. I might be making that up. Something like that, though. I personally opt to do 2. The thing is, so like, out of your second wall jump, you can either angle up shoot, or you can do a sideways shot like this. I wouldn't say one is better than the other necessarily, but they're complex inputs. And you have to do them fast. Like, if you're too slow here, you're just gonna bonk the Ripper instead. Or you have to, like, wiggle back and then... You know what I mean? So you have to be kind of fast to make this work. Alternatively, you can go up the right side. This is what I used to do. And this feels easier to me. Again, I'm better at right side wall jumps, so probably not for everyone. The downside is that it's really hard to get an optimal door here. See, so the door gets all messed up when you do it that way. So that was a 70 frame door transition. It is, like I said, I think it's technically possible to get a good door. It's just a lot harder. Yeah. So, my recommendation is if you can do it, do the left side. Of course, you know, if you're having trouble doing these at all, you can just freeze the Rippers. Like, it's gonna be slower, but... You know what I mean? So don't stress too much about the wall jumps if you can't do them. If you can't do them fast and efficiently. Is there an easy way to do this fast wall jump? Wall jumping quickly is just something that you will learn how to do as you practice more. There isn't really a trick to it, it's just a matter of doing the inputs quickly in the right order. What affects door transitions? So doors have to center themselves before they actually scroll. And so, basically, right now, notice that the door is on the top half of the right side of the screen. So when we run through, it has to scroll down and then go to the left. But if it starts in the middle, then it doesn't have to scroll down. It just immediately goes through, right? And so when we're coming up here, you can manipulate the way that the screen scrolls by doing, basically, like, the door starts up there, but as you jump up, it does end up in the middle of the screen. And as long as you don't jump too high, then the screen won't scroll back down. But if you do jump too high, the screen scrolls down. So that's the nice thing about doing the down grab here, is it basically prevents the screen from scrolling down, which keeps the door in an optimal position. Alright. This room is pretty basic. It's just some tricky damage boosts. You want to do one damage boost off the right side of these spikes. Do a little hop. Use your iframes to run through this Zila. Do a little hop across this gap. I wish you could down grab here, but it results in that. Do another damage boost. You can technically do it off the right side of this vial plume, but it's hard. And in 100%, it doesn't actually save time, really, from my experience. It does save time in any percent, but in 100%, I think it saves like 1 frame on average. Something like that. Something to do with high jump. Anyway, so I just opt to do the spikes. I jump as I shoot, sorry. I shoot as I'm jumping up. Oops. That will open the door preemptively. I'm just fat. This is one of the rooms that I fat finger, by the way. And then I hold a charge shot angle down through the door. You can also hold shoot as you're boosting. So I didn't shoot there, I'm just holding it during the boost. And Samus will automatically shoot out of the damage boost, which will usually open the door quickly enough that you won't bonk. But it's interesting. Like, I'm getting, on average, my times are better when I shoot after. But I don't know why. It seems like it should be the same. Yeah. Angle down, charge shot through the door, release shoot during the door. That will make it so the Samus automatically shoots this first block out. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. What most people do is they shoot down again right here. That will break this block as well. And then they just do a little hop and another little hop. Or they go down the left side, like that. This is definitely the easiest strat. Just do a little hop, weave down like that. Gives you 322 and a 70 door. I opt to do a morph weave instead. It's a little faster. It's a 256 with a 49 door, so it saves like 40 frames compared to the other strat, I think. You can also morph and land, which is easier and still a little bit better. It's about the same. It's like a handful of frames better than the jump. You can also do a morph down the left side, something that somebody showed me recently. I don't like this one because it makes, like, I don't know, the turning is weird. But if you do it right, you can just hold, so basically you move left and morph, and then you hold right the whole way down until you pass right here, and then you just hold left and go. See, like, I'm getting close, but anyway, I just prefer this side. It is harder, you have to watch out. You have to kind of time it. I shouldn't say it's harder. It's easier for me, but in theory it's harder because you have to time your inputs a little more. So you don't bonk the caterpillars. I think they're called zeros. One thing that I run into here a lot is if you're holding shoot when you aim down, and then you're still holding it when you try to release and press down again to morph, Samus will automatically aim forward. So, like, a lot of the time what happens is I come here, I shoot, and then I release to try and repress down to morph, and Samus ends up aiming forward. So it's kind of best to, like, just tap your shot button here. Tap. Make sure that you're still holding down when you tap the shot button. And then repress it after. Or else you're not going to be able to morph. You can also do a jump through the door. I think this makes it so you can't do the weave. You can, of course, do that. Yeah, I don't see a weave happening here. So yeah, I would recommend running through. What Ruya is saying is instead of holding shoot when you're running into this door, just hold angle down and then hold shoot during the door. And then release it. Like that. Because when you're charging a shot and then you release it, obviously it will automatically come out. So yeah, try it both ways, figure out what's more comfortable for you. But that's the general idea behind that room. And again, like there's nothing wrong with just being like, okay, this is hard and I'm just gonna do this jump. Nothing wrong with that at all. Okay. Jump and deboost off of this first guy. You can hold shoot again out of this deboost to automatically buffer a shot and open this this power bomb. And then what I do is I just hold my fingers so that I can just like slide over to item select and immediately choose missiles after the shot. Grab the power bombs and then morph and press item select 2 more times to choose power bombs. Lay the power bomb. There's a couple ways you can move left here, and they only have really frames of difference. I like to roll over to the right. Oops. Turn left and unmorph. Wait for just like a very brief period of time. Run forward and do a mock. And if you time it right, you'll mock through this gap just as it appears behind the statue. You can also just roll through. Like this. So, really, like, the mock, assuming that you do it completely correctly, saves about 10 frames, maybe even less. Another thing I used to do, and this was good too, is I would wait longer, and instead of actually morphing at all, I would just do a running aim down jump. I think the reason this ended up being less preferable was because of lag. Because morphing and unmorphing takes a lot of frames. But it was close. Kind of like that. I landed too early, though. Anyway, they're all comparable, honestly. All of the strats are comparable. It just kind of comes down to what is most comfortable for you. And what I found to have the most potential was this mock. So, that's what I'm maining now. I hold angle down and right coming out of this missile. And then I jump, you know, just before the corner. That will usually get you in a good position where you'll just end up on this block. But you do need to kind of eyeball it, make sure that you don't land in the vial plume. Damage boost across, and then this is actually something that I taught somebody a couple days ago. They weren't aware of this. This applies to KPDR too, so keep that in mind. You actually want to bonk this door as you're running through, and then release dash during the transition. Bonk, release dash. As long as you release dash, Samus is going to get this same speedy jump every time. Which lets her get all the way up. If you hold dash, you're usually going to end up with this lower jump instead. It is possible to do that. It's like a frame perfect holding dash and jump. Will get you up slightly faster, but like it's so much less consistent. My recommendation is just to release dash. Shoot up when you land. Shoot up again if you need to break those two blocks. This room is really input heavy, by the way, so don't worry too much if you're struggling to get through it fast initially. Once you end up here, shoot up and then jump and do an angle up shot. This first up shot is going to freeze that cack up there. So, up, jump, angle up. Kill the cack on the right, collect its drop. Angle up, jump, kill the cack on the left, collect its drop. Select supers, jump up here, Jump up here, open the door. From here, there's a couple things you can do. The easiest one is just to, I believe you can just do a one tap here. Yeah, so you can just do a one tap, a stutter, maybe even just a one, not a stutter one. Let's find out. Okay, so you want to stutter one tap, or you can sorry, I'm thinking. You can probably do a non-stutter tap on the first one and then repress through the door. Yeah, that works too. So technically a two tap, but it's like a buffered two tap. Basically, you just want to make sure that you get blue for this third hopper. Also, you want power bombs selected when you're coming here. So select power bombs. Do whatever kind of a short charge you're gonna do. Lay a power bomb. And then do an angle up spark to kill those hoppers. Drop down and grab the power bombs. That's like the easy strat. Yo, thank you for the tier 1 10 months. Really appreciate that. The swag strat is a lot harder, it's a lot cooler, and it is a bit faster. And there's a few different ways that you can do it. The way that I do it, I either do a stutter 2 tap. Sorry, a stutter 3 tap, but that gets harder because your second and third taps technically have to be after the door. Or a multi-stutter, kind of the same thing. Basically, you just want to do one tap before the door, okay? You can kind of tell where Samus is at in her running animation based on her position entering the door. Make note of that because we're going to use the same kind of strategy for the Gauntlet Spark. So, Hop, do you understand why the short charge is good? Do you understand why you would want to do the short charge and the Shine Spark? Because this is something that persists through every run of Super Metroid all the time. Okay, so if you just run through and do a mock with the power bomb, basically all of the hoppers are remaining alive through the entirety of the power bomb, which is generating a lot more lag. If you kill the hoppers preemptively, you're reducing lag. The iframes also reduce lag. And I don't think this is really part of it, but since you're maintaining speed booster over to the left side, you're basically getting farther to the left earlier, so you can lay the power bomb further left and earlier. The Mach probably makes up for that, honestly. But this had 20 frames of lag, where the Mach Ball strat I think had 70. So that's almost an entire second of lag. So basically, anytime that you're laying a power bomb, you want to look for ways to reduce the lag from that power bomb, because power bombs lag the hell out of this game. .91 frames of lag. The other thing is that if you drop down too early after laying the power bomb, they won't die, and Shine Spark killing them completely negates that. So yeah, don't do the Mach Ball power bomb strat. So we want to do a short charge through this. So usually I end up doing a multi-statter, multi-tap, multi-stutter 3-tap. So do 1 tap before the door, hold dash and shoot during the transition, and then release and repress. After you get blue, you want to do a short hop, which will kill that hopper, assuming that you got the right setup here, which can be finicky. The practice ROM especially screws with this, so just keep that in mind. Short hop, Mach Ball, lay the power bomb, and then what you want to do, and I'll talk about this in depth in just a second, you want to keep blue, and then jump, kill the other hoppers, and drop down. Okay? This has more lag than the optimal Shine Spark kill, but it's faster because we don't have to wait for the crash. So, yep, short hop Mach Balls are difficult, for sure. This is one of the harder strats in the run. But it is the best way to do this room if you can pull it off. So let's talk about this blue keep here. Is this room long enough? Yeah. Okay, so if you get Samus into a speedball, and then you unmorph, she's going to lose her blue, right? That's just how it is. But for whatever reason, if you're holding angle, oops. If you're holding angle when you unmorph out of a speedball, she'll keep her blue suit. But yeah, you want to lay a power bomb before you go into temp blue. The hoppers should always do the same thing as long as you shoot when you first come in. Basically what that does is it pauses this first one. If you don't shoot, you're gonna end up with that. So you want to shoot when you first come in, pauses the first one just long enough to change its behavior. And then you do the jump, the morph, powerbomb lay, Make sure that you're holding angle after the morph so that when you unmorph, Samus keeps blue. And then jump up and kill the other hoppers. The thing about the soft unmorph, like doing the air ball, it's not necessarily the worst idea. It's just that you're already limited on space, and you still need to lay the power bomb, right? So like laying the power bomb before, like I think that was technically it right there. It's just hard. It's definitely going to be easier to lay the power bomb after a mock, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, so. Alright, once you get the power bombs, hang on guys. Alright, so, grab the power bomb. You want to make note of what dropped on your way down if possible. If you don't have enough supers here and you see one, definitely jump up and grab it. 4 here is technically minimum for guaranteed optimal strats. Otherwise you're going to be relying on some Phantoon RNG a little bit. If you see a super kind of lower down here, even if you have 4, it's kind of worth picking up because supers are a really valuable commodity in this run. So. Alright, jump up, grab the super if you want, do D-boost, over to the right side of the room, and jump out of this door. Wall jump up, and go up the elevator. Alright, so, ledge grab here, do a jump and up grab here, shoot up. You can either do a down grab or just jump up and land here. Ledge grab here. Ledge grab here. Lay a power bomb on the right side of this mound. That will kill this key hunter and open this door. It's very important. Then come over here, do a gap skip across this gap by aiming down as you run over it. Also, cruel joke, hey dude, what's up? Sorry, I meant to say hi. And I kept getting distracted by things, so. My bad. Thank you for the sub, dude. Do a gap skip. Here. Run left, angle up, and shoot a missile to kill that key hunter. We're shooting a missile to kill it earlier to reduce lag. Run left, and you can either run all the way to the door, or optimally you want to stop right about here. Okay? And now we are set up for Ocean Fly. Alright, so Ocean Fly. There are a few different ways you can do this. I'm going to talk about what I do, and then I'll talk about the only really viable alternative for 100%. Alright, so from here, you want to do a stutter 3. So you charge just before this block. Dude, that's annoying. 2, 3. Then run forward and do another gap skip. Like that. I actually switch grips right here. So I start off, I do my charge with the normal grip, and then I switch to a claw. And I shoot as I am doing the gap skip to start a charge shot. Okay. The charge shot method is probably the most complex Ocean Fly. but once you get a feel for it, it's easier than the missile. And faster. Anyway, so you do a short charge, gap skip. You want to land on the far left edge here. And run through. Now, of course, you can wait for the block to respawn and then do it. Just be careful with how you charge your shot, or your, how you jump across, or whatever. And again, you can start from the door and just do a one tap instead of like a stutter tap. So keep that in mind. Like, there are a lot of different ways that you can set up this part of the short charge. Okay. Run through the door. I think you'll be able to see it on the capture. There are these background cues that I use. So in the background, there's like these pieces of rock that are hanging down. There's one in the middle right here. I try to be on the right side of this when I execute the Shine Spark. Like that. With the charge shot, there's two different things that you need to keep an eye out for. So one, how fast the beam is traveling, and two, when it exits screen. So if it's traveling really fast, you want to initiate your Shine Spark just as it leaves the screen. If it's traveling a bit slower, you want to do it later after it leaves the screen. Oops, that was way too early. Either way, you are going to want to do it after the beam is off screen. So if you ever find yourself sparking and the beam is still on screen, like that, it was just on the very right edge, there's no way that's going to work. So you know that you need to spark later in that case when you're practicing. Okay. Aside from the visual cue in the background that I use, and kind of those key points with the beam. Gosh, I can't even freaking do it anymore. I don't really have a whole lot else to say about Ocean Fly. What causes the difference in speed? So your beams will shoot faster or slower. The same applies to missiles, depending on how much running speed Samus has when they come out. It's called the Doppler effect. It's an actual physics. We debated on the right word for this a couple weeks ago. It's an actual thing in physics. The Doppler effect. So. Alright, if you decide to do missiles instead, I'm trying to remember what the cue is for that, because I don't remember, to be completely honest. The nice thing about using missiles is you don't need to worry about charging a shot here, which makes this room easier. You just do your short charge, gap skip, jump across. Yeah, so the window for this is quite a bit tighter than the beam, if I remember correctly. But you do want to spark with the missiles still on screen. Something like that. So yeah, my recommendation is to go with the beam instead, personally. Looks like you may actually want to start your spark further left if you're doing missiles. Yeah. But again, I don't remember the cues exactly. And this brings me to my next point. iLunix 1008, but the Super is different, isn't it? Yes, the Super has its own set of cues. And the Super actually has the widest timing window, if I remember correctly. However, I'm not going to bother showing this. We don't use Supers in 100% for this because we need them. One, we need them for Phantoon, because in 100% you're going to have less Supers than you do in KPDR, since you have to use a Super to open the door to get the beta power bombs. And two, Supers are a very valuable commodity later in the run, so we don't use the Super for Ocean Fly here. If you insist on using a Super for Ocean Fly, what you're going to need to do is do an additional farm on one of the CACs before coming up the elevator in Red Tower. So, my recommendation is to practice and get good with the beam shot method, but ultimately it's up to you how you decide you want to do this. Oops. Alright. It is kind of weird, isn't it? I should have talked about that. Okay, so during this Shine Spark, you don't have to do it this way, but what most people do is they hold item cancel and select super missiles. So if you see that it's blinking, I think we talked about this already, but after you shoot, it will automatically deselect. So, auto deselect a super, shoot, run through the door. I pump 5 times here. That's less important, but these bugs right here, that's where you want to shoot to open the door and make sure that you don't bonk. Pretty straightforward. In this room, if you time your turn to the left correctly, you'll swing around and end up aligned with the stairs. You can just keep running down. It's both really cool looking and really fast, so that's my recommendation for what to do entering here. You can also just stop and, turn left. Hang on, guys. You can just stop and turn left, like this. Or you can also jump through the door previous to this and do a downturn and get across, get around it. But yeah, the fastest thing that I've found is to do this turn onto the stairs. Select power bombs. Lay a power bomb on this set of stairs just as you land. Right here. And then wait for it to blow out this corner. Unmorph after this tunnel. Okay. Alright. There's a couple things you can do here, but you do want to do a late jump. If you get it right, you can actually jump all the way past this second set of spikes. That's kind of hard to do, so what a lot of people will do instead is just plan on doing a mock and then an unmorph like that. I generally do try to go for this. But if you jump too high, you're going to bonk up here. So you need to be careful about that. Do low jumps over the spikes. Remember that Samus is faster on the ground than she is in the air, as a general rule. You want to land pretty much as far right here as you can. And then you can either just jump up and grab the missile and drop back down, or you can try to go for the swaggy grab that also saves time by clearing that corner. It is harder to do, but the key to making it happen is doing a later jump, like right around here, turning around and just grabbing like the very corner of it. The danger is that if you don't get far enough, you're going to end up dropping back down and missing the missile, and then you have to jump back up and get it, which is it's not like the end of the world, but it is a, you know, fairly significant time loss when you could have just been safe. Again, jump low over the spikes on your way back. You want to land as far left here as you can so that you can get more run speed for your mock ball under this tunnel. Like this. You can also do like, you can run further so that you jump when you're like midway up the stairs to get the fastest mock. Personally, I find that really hard. And usually when I try to do it, I either bonk here or I bonk like this. But I don't know, like maybe you're better than I am and you can do that. It does save at least, you know, a number of frames, handful of frames, if you get the faster mock there. Unmorph early so you don't bounce here. And then I run off and do an angle and a down shot. Then I morph and roll through. See, now I can't even do this missile grab. There we go. So unmorph, angle, down, morph, roll through. Select your supers. You can jump or run off there. If you do jump, it'll save a little bit of time. Just try not to cojact. Kojacting at any point here is really bad. Okay. Do a short hop off the left side here. I use this broken shaft in the background to decide kind of roughly where I want to land. And then, so you actually have two different options here. You can do a short charge, speedball, which is swaggy and fast, or you can run off to the right, lay a power bomb like this. It was a little bit too early on the power bomb. And do that. Optimally, the power bomb is only going to be like 5 or 10 frames slower. But the speedball, the thing about the speedball is it's hard to do optimally as well. So Basically, you want to do a no stutter 2-tap to save time with this. Because if you do a 3-tap, 1, 2, 3, that's like 20 frames slower. So, really, ultimately, it comes down to what you want to do. But that was exactly the same time as the 3-tap that I just did. And any extra taps or extra stutters that you put in here is just going to make the charge slower. Or if you start further left, for example, so you have more leeway for your charge. So, yeah, really it just comes down to a comfort thing. Optimally, you want to start right about here and do a no stutter 2-tap. And enter Phantoon. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to go through this. It'll take a little longer, but I think it will be better that way. So I'll just cut out everything from before and we'll go. You dummy. Okay. We'll start with fast left. Okay, so he'll move left. You want to kind of inch left and then turn back around and shoot. Shoot 2 missiles and then 2 more missiles again immediately. Run over to the right side of the room. You'll have iframes, because either you're going to bonk Phantoon or you're going to get hit by a flame. If there is a flame in the way, shoot 1 missile to get rid of it. And then we Doppler. And like I said, I'll talk about Dopplers a little bit more in depth in a minute. Not going to go too crazy into it, but that's the idea. Alternatively, you can have him swing off the right side of the screen. That will be slower, but it will give you more leeway. Depending on whether you do that or not, oops. You may want to kind of jump over Phantoon here like this to avoid more damage. That will also manipulate him to come from the bottom right. Okay. I personally don't like sending him off screen because it's slower and it's hard to time when he's actually coming back. But if you get a feel for it, then it can make it pretty easy to get a lot more missiles in. Okay. So that's a fast left. I don't think we can get a fast right out of this. Let's try. Okay, cool. So, again, you can just kind of stand where you were. Shoot just as Phantoon's eye is passing these like green dots. Shoot 2 missiles and then run right and 2 more missiles. Again, get rid of any flames that are in the way. The nice thing about 100% is we can just like tank damage here in most situations without worrying about it too much. Anyway, after the 2 and 2, you can just stand here in the bottom right and he'll swing back around and give you a good opportunity to get some Dopplers in right here. Alternatively, just like with the fast left, oops, you can swing him off screen. If that is more comfortable for you. Like that. Okay, so that's a fast ride. Here's a slow version. And the faster version. Now we'll do a mid-left. So mid-left, basically you always want to plan on it being fast. So we're going to shoot here. Oh, he didn't open. Okay. So the next spot he's going to open is right here. The cue that I used for this, I aligned Samus so that her gun is pointed up just to the right of these green dots on this panel. Hopefully you can see those. And then I shoot just as Phantoon is swinging up past like these dots right here. See that? Watch out for flames that are in the way, obviously. So shoot 2 missiles up, then 2 more as he kind of swings down over here. When he's on the bottom right. And then, just like with the other ones, you can either Doppler him while he's still on screen, or you can swing him off screen. So here's an on screen. I messed it up, but, you know. And also jump across like that. Swing him off screen. All right. Mid-right. So he didn't open on the fast. Next spot that he's going to open is just like a fast left would have been, or left fast. And because of that, we can treat that pattern more or less the same way that we would a left fast. Does that make sense? So kind of like learning the fast patterns first is a good idea because you can use the same strategies on some of the other mid patterns. Okay. Okay, we'll do slow left and slow right for round 1. Alright, so he doesn't open on fast, so we set up for middle. He doesn't open on middle, so we set up for slow. So the way that slow works, the slow left, I stand just to the left of these the 4 yellow dots in the middle. You want to be on the left of the left 2 of those and shoot up just as he's about to stop. thing is, sometimes there will be flames in the way like that, and that's just kind of a problem with slow patterns. I wish there was like a good one-size-fits-all solution, but unfortunately the flames change all the freaking time, so I shot too late there, so I only got like 1 or 2 of the flames that come out in a circle. So you want to try and shoot earlier than that. Like that. Do that a couple more times. The more you fight Phantoon, the more you'll get used to the way that he moves in relation to Samus, so it's just kind of a matter of manipulating him to swing around. So I totally screwed that up, but whatever. And then, of course, you can also swing him off screen there. Okay. Slow right. Alright. He didn't open fast. Is he going to open mid? He didn't open mid. Slow right is a lot like slow left, except we stand to the right or just under these yellow dots on the right. It's actually easier to time the shot in my experience. And again, you can either just like tank the damage, keep him on screen and Doppler that way. Flames will be in the way sometimes. And it's just kind of like, you just sort of have to learn how to handle them, and keep in mind that sometimes one missile will kill 2 flames when you don't expect it, etc. Okay. You can also do like an air Doppler here, and I'll be talking about this stuff. Okay. So those are all the first round patterns. So now we'll talk about round 2 patterns. So we'll start with fast left. Left fast, rather. So I always set up by standing right about here with, again, with kind of the Samus's heel next to this yellow dot, or her front toe like on the black space between the platforms, I guess. And if I notice that Phantoon's starting on the left, I'll shoot pretty much immediately. Okay. For a fast left, left fast, second round, you can either shoot and then shoot again as Phantoon swings down, or you can shoot and then jump and shoot again. Oops. But if you're going to jump, you need to do it like immediately. And then depending on how you do that, it will change how Phantoon actually behaves. Here, I'll try and show this. Okay. So what I like to do is shoot, run in the corner, and then I do an air Doppler here. Like that. But you can also jump up like this, and that'll swing Phantoon down to the left, and you can just do a ground Doppler that way. But if there is a flame in the way, you're going to have to deal with that, and that's kind of why I don't like this. Okay. Alternatively, of course, you can swing him off screen. This is the best way to do that, in my experience. So you shoot, and then you shoot again, and you morph immediately. And generally, if you do this right, you can actually roll under the flame and Phantoon. I don't know why I'm like struggling here, but this is really good any percent strat too if you're low on health. Anyway, that's a good way to swing him off screen for that pattern. Alright. We're not going to cover the super rare Phantoon patterns, being fast right and mid left for round 2. So we'll do fast left, we'll do slow left. The patterns just almost never show up in runs. That's why they're rare. Like a 1% chance. So, okay, dang. Phantoon didn't open. He will sometimes open here, mid-left, but almost never. Alright, here's the slow left. So he ends up on the far left of the room. Again, depending on flames, there are a couple different ways that you can deal with this. I like to stand directly underneath, kind of ball up like that. Send him off screen and do that. It's like my main. I hate second round slow patterns. They are the bane of my existence. Something else that you can do, if there's no flames in the way, you can stand sort of in the middle here. Do the on-screen strat like that. But again, I just like to kind of hang out here, ball up in the corner, do a jump after he goes off screen. That will usually manip him to come floor level on his way back. I'm not sure if I was late or early on my jump there, but something. Anyway, that's how I main slow left. Left slow. Second round. Okay. I don't think... Maybe I can manage this. Mid-right. Nice, okay. So, if he starts on the right, he's almost never going to open for the fast pattern, but if he does, it'll be right about there. Okay. So you always want to shoot, just in case. Otherwise, this is probably the easiest second round pattern. He's gonna open right here on this green dot-ish. So you can just stand to the left of the green dot, angle up, and shoot. Again, right here. All right, and then there's also slow right. This pattern is actually less common than mid-right, so if he gives you this, you know that he's trolling you. It's a lot like slow left, or left slow, in the sense that he just opens on the far side of the screen. But it's better because you don't actually need to send him off screen to have basically the entire length of the room to do the Doppler. You do want to do that jump there that I did, because that will kind of manip him to swing around so he's on the bottom when he goes over to the left. All right. So let's talk about Dopplers. So like I mentioned earlier, a Doppler is referring to the physics effect or phenomenon or theory or whatever the word is, where basically if you fire a shot when Samus is stationary, it will move slower than if you fire it while she's moving forward. So if you notice, when firing after moving forward, the shot is a little bit faster. This is especially noticeable with missiles. It's easier to tell in like a... trying to think of how to explain this. Anyway, the idea is that we can use Dopplered missiles to stun lock Phantoon, so we can get more missiles in per round. Okay. The approximate rate of fire is 360 beats per minute, which is about I did put fast left on, right? Yeah, I did. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You just want to make sure that you're not firing too fast, or what will happen is you'll try to fire before the missile's cooldown is done, and that really messes with things. So you don't just want to mash, or that will happen. It's definitely timed shots that you want to do here. You don't need to stutter like that, but if you do, you can get more missiles in, and the way that works is basically you push forward and then fire and then release and then repress forward and fire again. So sorry, this explanation really isn't very good, but I'm doing the best I can. You also have the option to do something called an air Doppler. And the way that works is the same as a ground Doppler, except that Samus moves slower in the air. In either case here, you want your first shot to be while Samus is stationary. Or rather not moving forward. So you fire, and then you move forward, and then you continue your shots. Here, we'll send Phantoon off screen here. It's probably better to illustrate this. So pay attention and notice that I'm shooting the first missile and then I'm moving forward. And firing more. My first missile's bonking here a lot of the time. That's totally fine. You just need to pay attention so you can make sure that you know how many missiles are hitting Phantoon. Okay. As far as air Dopplers go, again, you just want to shoot your first missile and then move forward. And fire your subsequent rounds. Air Dopplers are a lot harder to do in 100% because you have high jump, which means that you're bonking the ceiling and falling earlier. But that's kind of the idea there, is just you fire a missile, then you move forward, then you fire more missiles. And again, you can stutter. And that's what the task does to finish him off in one round. Emmett also does this, because he's a monster. He goes forward and runs. He's gotten it in a run, actually, which is pretty insane. But yeah, it's really hard, so recommendation is just fire, run forward, fire more missiles. And again, it's 360 BPM, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sense? Sorry, I realize that's not the best tutorial for Dopplers. I did go more in depth, I think, on my PRKD, so I'll be linking that on YouTube as well. And yeah, that's Phantoon. So I guess we can call that good for today. I really do appreciate you guys coming around for the tutorials. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Next time we will cover wrecked ship, just wrecked ship, because it's a very long, not very long. It's a very difficult, very complex section, and I want to make sure that I explain it the best I can. So.